Good afternoon, everybody, from Jonathan Pearce and Karen Bardsley, 3 times an FA Cup finalist, on a grey, chilly Sunday lunchtime at Wembley Stadium, as Ollie Murs, the pop star, sings on the field of play. The banner's about to be laid as well by the Corps of Royal Engineers, celebrating the 150th anniversary of the Corps winning the FA Cup in 1875. You've got 120 serving soldiers and officers there, about to unfold the big banners of the clubs as the players wait in the tunnel for a repeat of the 2023 final won by Chelsea. One of their 5 triumphs in this competition as they attempt to complete the domestic treble, having won the Super League title and the League Cup. In their way, Manchester United, the first team from outside London since Liverpool in the 1990s to reach 3 cup finals in a row. And of course, the defending trophy holders having beaten Tottenham here so impressively 4 goals to 0. Which way do you think it's going to go today, Karen?
I certainly think Chelsea are going to be up for this, but Manchester United, the defending holders, are going to want to spoil an undefeated Chelsea season.
It's a terrific atmosphere, isn't it, here? They said there were 85,000 odd seats sold. There are empty places yet to be filled, but there will be a lot of fans down in the concourse. 10 years since the cup final first came here. It's gone very quickly.
It certainly has, and what a spectacle we can see down on the pitch. You know, Ollie Murs adding to this atmosphere, something I imagine a lot of ticket holders wouldn't be expecting to see.
Ollie Murs has finished his singing, and we await the emergence of the players for the FA Cup final of 2025. Out come the players. Chelsea, the treble chasers. Manchester United, the holders. Chelsea, the establishment club. Manchester United, the self-styled rebels, led out by their so very, very proud coach, Mark Skinner, who is leading a club out for the FA Cup final for the 4th time in his career. That is some record. The Chelsea fans occupying the west end of the stadium, Manchester United the east. If you believe in omens, the Chelsea fans at the same end that the Crystal Palace supporters were yesterday. There was a shock in the men's final. Will there be a shock here today? Off go the pyrotechnics. What are the players feeling down there at the moment, Karen?
I think it'll be a mix of nerves and excitement, JP. I think they're just going to be playing their game plan and their role in it through their minds, being really, really focused about what they need to do to get the result for their respective teams today.
Well, here come the presentation party. The FA's board chair, Debbie Hewitt, MBE. Sue Hopp is there as well. Sue, MBE, chair of the FA Women's Football Board, and a person who has given so much to the development of women's football throughout her life, and the acceleration of the development of women's football in this country in the last decade has simply been astonishing. Simon Morris is the other member of the presentation party, marketing president of title partner Adobe. Well, you've been here, Sonia Bonpastor, what a season she's had there, the manager of Chelsea. You've been there. Do the players appreciate this when they have to meet and greet and shake the hands?
You want my honest answer? No, absolutely not. It means absolutely nothing, I think, to the players right now. They're fully engaged in their, like I said, their game plan, how they're going to affect the game and what they need to do to get that trophy back to either Manchester or back to London. They're not interested in, you know, the pomp and circumstance, albeit a special one, very special occasion indeed. They're ready to get the game underway as quickly as they can.
Third women's FA Cup meeting between the two clubs. The Blues won 1-0 in the 2020 final. Reds got revenge in last season's semi-final, winning 2 goals to 1. She has been unbelievable as the Chelsea coach, coming in to replace Emma Hayes. Her win percentage as Chelsea coach, 84.21% of the games she's won. Now, let me put that into context. The all-conquering Emma Hayes won 71% of her games as Chelsea manager. She's come in, seamless transition, and taken them to another level domestically, but not in Europe. That's the next step, of course, to win the Champions League, and they were recently given the drubbing by Barcelona in the semi-final stage. There's Sue walking down the line, and there is the man who says his team today will be dancing in the dark. A reference to Bruce Springsteen, who's up in Manchester at this moment in time. Well, who will be born to run and run and run in this final today? We will wait and see. We're waiting here for the national anthem to be sung by Siena MBC. Beautiful delivery. Should have had her nerves as well. Minnie Bright would never miss a chance to sing the national anthem. That is for sure. Lost in the haze. Who was that in behind the firework haze?
Nice to see Serena Wiegman here. She's got her eyes on the future Euro squad, hasn't she, JP?
She certainly has. She's got better eyes than I have. I couldn't see through the pool of smoke left by the pyrotechnics. We're almost ready to go. And the last mention for the Corps of Oil Engineers. Chelsea, 2 changes for the 1-0 final WSL victory against Liverpool. Saw them the first team to go a 22-game top-flight campaign unbeaten. Erin Cuthbert and Maya Ramirez come back in. Together that team can boast 20 FA Cup winners' medals. Bronze and Walsh won it with Manchester City. And meeting with United, of course, their Delhi rivals, always special for them.
Absolutely, and look at the quality on the pitch there. For me, it's an interesting choice, though. Potentially going with a back three. Sonia Van Poster certainly likes to see her opposition uncomfortable and guessing what she's going to be doing.
Well, the big surprise in Mark Skinner's Manchester United side, no Ella Toon. Big Wembley showpiece specialist only among the subs. We've got a game plan for all periods of the match, she said. 2 other changes from their final league game. The 4-2 defeat at Arsenal. In come Turlin, Mania and George. Mara and Sandberg joined Toon on the bench. Only 3 of that side started last season's final.
Yeah, as you say, it's a brave call to leave out Ella Toon, but as you say, JP Skinner says he does have a plan, but they'll be determined to spoil Chelsea's party today, won't they?
There's Serena Williams in the crowd, partner of Alexis Ohanian, the founder of Reddit, who's just bought £20 million at 8 to 10% of the Chelsea Women's Club shares. 20 million for him is worth $150 million, they say. Again, it's a big development for women's football in this country. The post-investment valuation of Chelsea's Women's Football Club now, $245 million. So we're nearly ready to go. The huddle of the players. Does this really do any good, the huddle of the players beforehand? Tell us the truth.
For me, it was always about simplifying exactly what you needed to do. I think you talk about the first 5 minutes, how you want to affect the game and kind of feel it out as a team. So those are the key messages that'll be delivered in that huddle.
Interesting, I did the Women's European Under-17 final yesterday, and the Norwegian girls were really light-hearted beforehand, giggling amongst themselves against the Netherlands. They weren't focused early on, and they went 1-0 down. They came back into the game, lost it eventually, but that first 5 minutes went against them because they weren't particularly focused. The Netherlands, in contrast, they were in game mind from the minute they walked out on the pitch.
Yeah, if you leave that mentality in the changing room and you don't have that full focus, as soon as that whistle blows, you will get punished. Hopefully that doesn't happen to either team here today.
She's some player, Maya Letitia, the captain of Manchester United. She hasn't missed a league game in 3 seasons. Stern-faced, the manager of Manchester United. Start of the season, it was questionable whether he would still be here at the end of the campaign. Question marks about the investment in the Manchester United women's team. Certainly Sonia Van Pastoor has investment. She has the all-conquering Chelsea side. The players of Chelsea and Manchester United take the knee in the constant unnecessary battle against racism and social injustice, not just in football but in all society. Here we go. Grey day, cool day. It's going to take cool minds to win this. Chelsea all in blue, kicking from left to right. And a quick mention to Stacey Phillips, who was a player. She's the referee today. It's her first Wembley game. She's a big Formula One fan, so she'll be missing that to be here. She won't mind. She's a sports coach at a SEND school, and loves her football. Now Chelsea will look to bring it out. Bjorn, Bright and German, that's the way they line up in that back three. Here's Mannion pushed forward for Manchester United. And they'll look to get the ball in as quickly as they can. Clinton, laid off by Miyazawa. What can they do here? Just laid back again to the talented Hinata Miyazawa. Scooped in by Gabby George. And all the way through. But Manchester United starting on the front foot.
They certainly are, and Gabby George is known for her ability to put dangerous crosses into the area. When you have the likes of Turland in the box, she can be absolutely lethal.
Just looking at the way United are lining up, Grace Clinton seems to be pushed up very high behind Turland, with Galton on the left. Bizet will be somewhere over there on the right-hand side as they attack. And a chase now for Maya Letitia. Back towards Fallon Tullis-Joyce. Going to get a chance. I'll ask Karen about the form of the Manchester United New York City-born player in goal for Manchester United. She's had some season. I can bring you in there, actually.
No, she certainly has. She's a great shot stopper. She's getting more and more comfortable with her feet. Obviously had a US national team debut as well, didn't she? And yeah, she's been a tremendous addition to this Manchester United side, filling in some big shoes that Mary Earps left.
Karen, born in the United States but played for England magnificently. World Cup 15, I was privileged to be with the Lionesses in Canada in 2017, the Netherlands and France in 2019.
You're making me blush, JP, stop it.
Should have beaten the United States in that semi-final, I think. Could have beaten them, but there you go. That's a story for another day. Now Chelsea have it with Play Anywhere, Niamh Charles, but she's on that left-hand side today. Looking forward for Sandy Baltimore, who's playing in advanced position, has been playing left wing-back for periods of this season. In comes across for Manchester United from Celine Bizet. She's had a good campaign as well, league ever present. She's only missed 2 in all competitions. Still young is Bizet. Turned, 23 last October. Manchester United, a developing club. They're not developing as quickly as some supporters would want. They want them to match the pace of the Chelsea development. Well, the investment in her club is so far greater than the investment in any of the other teams in English women's football. Currently. Now, chance for Manchester United, should be cleared away, and is by Natalie Bjorn. The Swedish international got it away. But all the early action is in the Chelsea half.
It is, and that will be the Manchester United game plan, won't it? Play in Chelsea's half, threaten, try to force a mistake and look to capitalise.
Interested to hear Mark Skinner saying about this game plan he has for all the various phases of the match. So Toon's not starting, she will play a role, I'm sure. One's tried to get it away. Now Chelsea under a little bit of pressure. The sting of Grace Clinton's shot was taken out by the deflection, and it gives Manchester United the first corner kick of the game.
It's a dangerous long throw into the area, not well cleared, and look who's alert to it. It's Grace Clinton. Good block there by Millie Bright. But yeah, it's been all Manchester City so far. Oh, excuse me, Manchester United.
It's going to be a corner kick to be taken by Grace Clinton. Manchester City fans were hoping it was going to be all Manchester City yesterday, but it didn't work out their way, did it? It's going to be a cross in towards the middle of the goal, punched up by Hannah Hampton, England's international goalkeeper. Chelsea looked to break out there. They claimed handball against Miyazawa. Clinton tried to take on one of the game's best players, Erin Cuthbert, judged to have fouled her. And the boos are from the Chelsea end. Some player, Erin Cuthbert, competitive. There's that cross in. Punched away by Hannah Hampton. And it'll be a free kick here for Manchester United. So Hampton will be under pressure again. Another league ever present. Remarkable, she's playing football. She was born with an eye condition called strabismus. She had 3 eye operations before she was 3 years of age, playing in an FA Cup final, plays for a country. And comes up, free kick whipped in for Manchester United. It's going to be another corner kick. Your thoughts on Hannah Hampton?
I think she's an excellent goalkeeper. She's done really, really well to kind of rise through the ranks. I think she was at Birmingham City for quite a while, moved to Villa, came through the youth ranks as well, and really took a brave move coming to Chelsea and trying to establish herself.
There could be a danger in there. Janssen is up as well. A couple of goals this season. Aimed towards the far post, too long. And they're not going to keep that in play. Millie Turner thought about giving it a bit of a chase, described on the pitch in the build-up to the game as one of their own, comes from Wilmslow in that part of the world. Here's Millie Turner. Another remarkable story. She suffered an injury in January 2022, a carotid artery dissection. I'm not too sure what that is, but I know it sounds horrible. And it was very serious and threatened her life. And here she is playing in an FA Cup final. And she has it again. Very consistent, Turner and Letizia all season.
Yeah, it's been a good combination. I think, you know, she's a remarkable person, by the way, Millie Turner. But yeah, the combination of the two, if I was Chelsea, I'd probably look to keep Myra Ramirez on Millie Turner and keep her occupied.
Cuthbert just slipped away by Kira Walsh, one of the former Manchester City players, and a former cup winner, of course, with them on 3 occasions. They have the greater experience on these showpiece occasions. Crowd has filled gradually, but I would say it's a little bit below the expected 85,300 mark. Again, it's a remarkable figure that they managed to sell that many tickets. Here's Bronze. Held up by Aggie Beaver-Jones, an England international, still just 21. George handled her very well. Bon Pastor looks on. She played here in the Olympic Games in 2012. She was talking about that in the build-up to this particular final. You played in that tournament, of course.
I did. No, it was quite a moment. You know, playing at Wembley, beating at the time Brazil, who were a top team. Massive platform, I think, for the women's game in this country, JP.
Breakthrough, wasn't it? Big breakthrough tournament.
Indeed. I think for me it signalled what women's football could be, you know, when it was treated equally, the same sort of level of investment and interest as the men's game.
Throw in to Chelsea. And here is Hannah Hampton, who recently played for England in the games against Belgium. She's taken over really as number 1. I don't know whether she will hold that position going into the summer European finals in Switzerland. Cleared away by Naomi Guillemot. Turn under a little bit of pressure. They will have to deal with the physicality of Myra Ramirez, that's for certain. And Bon Pastor will want Ramirez to put it about a little bit. Here she is. Letizia is behind. She's got the cross in, Ramirez. Overcooked.
It's a little bit reflective, I think, of her season so far, JP. You know, she started out quite well, obviously coming in for the injury of Sam Kerr to replace that threat in that central area for Chelsea. But it's been a bit stop-start for her, I think, this season. So she'll be looking to shake off the rust.
Chelsea came into this competition late because they were a Champions League side, dispatched at Charlton and Everton, Liverpool in the semi-final. Manchester United beat Manchester City famously in their semi-final, having seen off Sunderland, Wolves and West Bromwich Albion. They played in the earlier rounds. All eyes on Serena there, and taking a selfie as well.
You don't want the unnecessary photobomb, do you?
I don't think you'd want to cross Serena, would you? And Turner away to Gabby George. Here is Turner again. Came up through the ranks with Manchester United. It wasn't long ago they were a WSL 2 team. They won promotion in 2018-19. They were only reformed as a club 7 years ago it was, this year actually. And here's Gabby George, rather it's Naomi Guillemot, Chelsea. Back to her goalkeeper. Chelsea as a club had been around a lot longer, founded in 1992 by the supporters. They were allowed to keep the name of the club. They were under the guidance of volunteers in those early days. It's a terrific challenge by Gabby George on Lucy Bronze.
That's a really well-timed challenge, isn't it? I think matched for pace there. And that sets the tone, I think, for Gabby George. Lucy Bronze, you're not getting past me today.
Missed last season's final. She was out for a year with a cruciate knee ligament injury. The injury that blights the women's game. Big scientific efforts going on to try and find out why. Again, the development of sports science, I think particularly in the women's game. I know it's developed dramatically in the men's game, but it wasn't available in the women's game. That's the thing, now it is.
No, it didn't have a particular focus on the female anatomy either. And so it's good, you know, that the likes of FIFA will be looking at the effects of the menstrual cycle and things like that, and on potential ACL injuries. But I think there's a lot more to it than just that, you know. I can go into detail about the Q angle and stuff, but people aren't here to listen to me speak about that.
Here's Ramirez. Crossman Letizier with her, and it's going to be a throw-in to Chelsea, who had a little bit of possession now in the Manchester United half for the last couple of minutes of these opening 13. They've won 13 of their last 15 meetings with Manchester United in all competitions. But United have lost more games since they became a WSL club against Chelsea than against any other opponent. Here's Millie Bright. Bronze decided discretion was the better part of valor there and left it to Gabby George. Another firm challenge. Maggie Beaver-Jones chasing back, tracking back. Long campaign for her. She played 38 games in all for her club. And an international course as well.
Am I right in thinking this is her first FA Cup with Chelsea, Maggie Beaver-Jones?
No, I think she was involved, wasn't she, before? Whether or not, I can't remember whether she played. I think she was involved. Been at the club for a long while. She went out on loan, didn't she? Went to Everton.
I think regardless, it's great to see her getting a moment in the sun.
I think she got a medal, but I don't think she played. Here's Ramirez. Challenged by George. It is astonishing that only 3 of United starters started that cup final last year. Some changed that.
No, it really is remarkable, isn't it? Just speaks to the amount of turnover in the team. I think, you know, just reflecting on last season, Grace Clinton was on loan, wasn't she?
Well, 6 players came in, 10 left. It's Chelsea attacking Manchester United. Much change this season. Clinton gets it away. And United look to break the pace of Bizet on the left, seen off there, and Chelsea beginning to find their feet in the game. Sandy Baltimore couldn't hold it up. She's had a wonderful season. League and League Cup winner. It's a 29th start, got him from PSG a year ago. Established international, now Millie Bright has it. He'll be at the heart of England's defence this summer. New Charles will be hoping for a role. Angled away. Once tucked it infield, then it was given away. Referee might have just had a look at that and thought it could have been a foul. The challenge in there by the Chelsea player. Kira Walsh it was. She's just acknowledged to the referee, actually. Referee, I think, had a little word with her. Bronze with a header on. Beaver Jones slips it beyond her. It's beautifully done. Ramirez is in the middle. Beaver Jones now for Chelsea. That's a decent save because it just popped up a little bit, I think, off a deflection.
It did indeed. It looked like it didn't take the trajectory that Fallon Tillis-Joyce was expecting, but what a lovely ball out from Hannah Hampton to flick on for Lucy Bronze into that space in behind Millie Turner for Aga Beaver Jones. We saw her score a goal like that at the weekend against Liverpool, and she certainly did come to the rescue then. But yeah, really well adapted to in that moment when the trajectory of the ball
very late
changed,
winner, wasn't it? Yeah, very late winner against Liverpool as they won yet another title. Chelsea, 6 in a row. Do you think something needs to be done with WSL competitiveness? Because if Chelsea keep winning, keep dominating, it's not great for the game, is it?
No, it's certainly a good question, isn't it? I do think, you know, the likes of Arsenal, the likes of Manchester United, they have challenged, but the gap does seem to be increasing, doesn't it, JP?
They won their first major trophy here 10 years ago, the first Wembley final against Notts County, away by Baltimore. Takes the return. That's a fine challenge on her to win it back for Manchester United, winning a lot for 50-50s. Miyazawa was involved. Clinton, another former Everton connection with her, former Bristol City loanee as well. That's given away. Lisa was a little bit sluggish in possession. Letizier comes across, and here's Cuthbert. Foul as she turned. The irrepressible Erin Cuthbert.
She is just absolutely everywhere. She covers so much space in the midfield, and I think that's why she's been such a key element of this Chelsea side and the success that they've had. She's physical, she's got a bit of bite about her, she's creative, really, really drives that midfield.
When I did my first Women's World Cup, which was in Canada, when I was doing the stats on players, one thing I noticed was the lack of club gains that England players had in comparison, let's say, to the experience of the Canadians, the United States of America players, the French club players as well. That's changed. I mean, Erin Cuthbert is now playing a 257th game for Chelsea. Really changed over the years.
That's mad, isn't it? But yeah, the increased size of the league itself, and obviously the European competitions, the cup competitions have been able to challenge teams and players' fitness levels and performances, haven't they? It's been massively beneficial.
Bright caught in possession. Chance here for Manchester United then. The cross in. Comes to the edge of the penalty area, hit firmly, but hit over. There's a chance for Dominic Janssen. And it just flew over.
It's a good ball into the area from Turlin, who pulls out. And if it's going to fall to someone, you don't necessarily want it to fall to your defensive midfielder, but it's a good strike. It's just got too much on it. Sails over the bar. Mark Skinner will know that he's not going to get many chances like that for his side.
Cup winner with Arsenal. She was there for some 4 years. Cup winner in Germany with Wolfsburg 5 times. Hard in the midfield for Manchester United. Alongside Miyazawa. Mannion slips it down the line. Can they get a cross in here? Just breaks down again on Bizet. And Chelsea clear to Beaver Jones, has gone to that left-hand side. Ramirez is down the line. It's interesting if Beaver Jones plays across there, it'll give huge space for Lucy Bronze. I think she's going to come back over here now. It will give a huge space for Lucy Bronze to attack into, but also it'll leave her a little bit exposed if United attack down their left. Poor aim for Galton, cleared away by Natalie Bjorn. There's Millie Bright, and out by Girma, the world record signing at $1 million when Chelsea bought her from San Diego Wave in January. Cuthbert. Here is Girma. She was injured when she first came, and the referee's blown for a free kick on Cuthbert.
I think it'll be interesting to see how she grows into this Chelsea side as the season progresses into next year.
Now here's Ramirez getting away from Letizia, who calls Turner across to cover. Ramirez, oh, she's chopped out, in comes across. Bronze was in there, keeper safe. Did Ramirez do the right thing there? Should she have got the ball in earlier?
I don't think so. I don't think she makes the right decision. For me, she chops and changes maybe a little bit too much. I'm sure you'll see it on your screen soon enough. Could she have pulled the trigger a little bit sooner? I think if she turns in to open the goal, she gives herself a lot better option, but she narrows the angle. She does well to stay with it. I think Letizia would be disappointed, but as soon as she chops back across that near post, Valentule's Joyce has it covered, and it's quite fortunate for Manchester United as it's bouncing around in the box in the area. But well recovered. What a shift from Leah Galton.
Gets the vital touch on it, Leah Galton. She's chasing back again, but Bronze has scampered beyond her.
So dangerous on that counter-attack though, Chelsea, aren't they? So direct.
So powerful. Lucy Bronze, middle name famously tough. Here she is. Beaver Jones. No way beyond that. Limping away. Got across well.
Yeah, not much in that in terms of by way of injury or anything. Perhaps she just landed a bit awkwardly, but Millie Turner's been through a heck of a lot, and I'm sure she'll be able to carry on.
Should have been in England camps with Lucy Bronze as well. So well. Ron Pastore aiming to become the first non-British manager to win the cup since Arsenal's Spaniard Pedro Martinez Losa in 2016. They beat Chelsea. And Ron Pastore's won all 4 of her domestic finals as a manager, one with Chelsea, 3 with Lyon, European champion with them as well. Here's Charles. Free kick given.
The referee's not letting anything go, is she, today? Sharp as attack.
And a shoulder worry there for Niamh Charles. Now she braced her body as she felt. There's jarred her shoulder. Millie Bright. Chelsea centre-back trio stepped up the pitch about 10 yards. Letizia played into an awkward position there by Manuel. It just looked a little bit nervy and got it away.
Yeah, as you can see here, she does well to be in that covering position. Maybe the ball holds up a little bit in the grass, but really should do better in terms of being able to wrap her foot around it.
Watered beforehand, as it was before yesterday's final when the weather was scorching. The sun is out now after a cloudy start. Corner kick for Chelsea. Cuthbert with it. Again, Thomas Joyce was so confident to get it away. Now Naomi Girma, USA international, crossing all the way through. Millie Bright not best pleased. Irma from San Jose. She went through the collegiate system in the United States of America that has developed so many global football players. A lot of England internationals went through that system back in the day, but not now, because there's no need to. They can develop their game as a professional footballer at a WSL club.
No, they certainly can. I mean, I went through that system myself, and at the time it was ultimately the best level you could play at before you reach the national team. And it's a great opportunity for some youngsters from the academies to go over and cut their teeth, if you will, before rejoining professional league, either in the US or the UK or wherever their journey takes them.
She was at Stanford, I think, Naomi Girma. Here's Bjorn. 25 minutes gone. No goals. A couple of chances, but it's very, very tight. We thought it would be. Chelsea already with the 2 trophies. For Manchester United, if they can defend the FA Cup, they're already in Champions League football. They're in a qualifying position. That would be some season for them. Here's Aggie Beaver-Jones. Still going. Stepping out to get the challenge was Maya Letizia. Just the sort of time in the game where Manchester United perhaps could have done with an Ella Toone to put her foot on the ball and make something happen.
Yeah, indeed. A bit more creativity needed, but I think the concern is just really trying to keep Chelsea at bay and make sure they stay in it for the first half as long as possible.
Brave decision to leave Ella Toone out. It proved the right decision. We'll wait and see. She will play a part. Here's Ramirez. Across comes Turner again. Ramirez is such a powerful player. Lucy Bronze. Challenged by Janssen, who gets it away. Only as far as Bjorn. Now Millie Bright. See how high those Chelsea centre-backs are now. They squeeze pressure on Manchester United. Cuthbert trying to get away from Miyazawa. Referee allowed it to go on. Cuthbert trying to battle back for it in typical fashion, and does. Brushes off Miyazawa. Chance here perhaps for Baltimore. Holding possession, Chelsea. Here's Walsh. Wonderful campaign as a Manchester City player, I remember, in this competition on 3 occasions, and she did so well as a Barcelona player. Now Chelsea are doing really well. Here's Sandy Baltimore. Dragged it. But they're right on top now, Chelsea.
That's a lovely bit of skill from Sandy Baltimore, isn't it? She receives the ball in a pocket of space, back-facing goal, and Janssen dives in, and Baltimore turns her so easily, far too easily, in quite a dangerous area, and Baltimore will be disappointed if she didn't get better contact on that and test the goalkeeper.
She'll be with the French squad in the summer. She recently played against Switzerland and Norway. 40 internationals she has. Won the French Cup 3 times with PSG before joining United in the summer. Thomas Joyce gets it away. And Clinton has fouled Cuthbert.
I think United have been really deliberate in how they've managed, you know, building out. They've not taken any risks, put the ball at risk. They got into their shape, played long, and to be fair, if that's what you have to do to stay in the game, that's what you have to do.
Milton plays out to Bronze. Turner committed really too tight with Aggie Beaver-Jones. It's beginning to cause problems. Bronze takes up the running. Baltimore in the middle. Ramirez is there as well. She looks for Baltimore. Important header away by Mannion. In comes the secondary cross. This time it's Turner who gets it away. Chelsea are building here. Walsh. Beaver-Jones back to Walsh. Baltimore failed to control it. And cleared away by Aoife Mannion.
I think for me, if you're Lucy Bronze and you're driving into that area and you have United defenders facing their own goal, you put a low, incisive cross across the 6-yard box and hope that someone gets something on it. But yeah, not the right decision for me.
Aoife Mannion will know all about Lucy Bronze and Kira Walsh. having been with them at Manchester City. Another player who's come back from ACL injuries. Bronze. Ramirez, she's offside. What a good central midfield pairing for Chelsea. Cuthbert, who was involved there, and Walsh, and that's just a little bit lazy actually from Myra Ramirez.
Yeah, she needs to just be aware of where the Manchester United defensive line is all the time, and yes, she wants to be that outlet, she can be that target, she wants to run the channel as well, but is that just reflective of the fact that she's not had as much consistent game time as she probably would have liked?
Now Celine Bizet is down for Manchester United. The temperature is not sufficient for drinks break or cooling periods, which is when it's really, really hot. Drinks break is a minute, cooling breaks I think 3 or 4 minutes, but they will take this opportunity while Bizet is down. She hasn't really got it in the game, has she?
No, I would completely agree, JP. You saw some glimpses, I think, early on, first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, where United started really, really well. A couple crosses maybe from Gabby Georges, but yeah, there's not really been much of an attacking threat, I think, for Manchester United so far.
Game would have had a different shape had Janssen kept that shot down, but if you're relying on Dominic Janssen to get you your FA Cup winning goals, then that isn't a great plan. Got a couple for Manchester United this season.
I think as well, you know, speaking of Bizet and that right-hand side for Manchester United, they will be, you know, severely missing that Jade Riviere energy, won't they, in terms of how far she gets up the pitch and her underlaps and overlaps and how she contributes to the United attack. Aoife Mannion, obviously, a different type of player.
Chelsea also missing key players. Lauren James, man who cuts a controversial figure, and the Glazer family hold of Manchester United has not been a happy one, and remarks made also this year, I think, from the hierarchy about the women's team have not been best advised and a bit ill thought out. And he needs to know that he has the backing, I think, of his hierarchy, doesn't he, at Manchester United, if he's going to get to do what he wants to do?
No, it certainly does. I mean, Mark Skinner is an ambitious man, isn't he? And I think he needs now, especially, that, you know, United have qualified for Champions League as well, the backing to really develop this team to reflect the club expectations.
Currently got 2 off the field, Manchester United, waiting to come on. Turner and Bizet, who's been involved in the most goals among WSL players in this season's Women's FA Cup, scoring 4, assisting 2. And playing with 9 players on the field now. The 2 injured players are back on. It's in a strong cup final so far, Millie Turner. Hampton now will start things going for Chelsea. 33 minutes gone. Rolls out to Natalie Bjorn, cup winner with the Rosengard club in Scandinavia, Sweden. Clinton trying to battle her way through a thick of legs. Oh, gets a free kick. Chelsea a bit bemused by that decision. Referee had a good view of it. He's had a good final. Let's have a look here. Lucy Bronze a bit tight behind her, bundled her over. That's the soft one, isn't it? Yeah,
I don't think that's really deserved of a decision there for the referee, and you could see the reaction from Maggie Beaver-Jones as she shook her head and shook her finger as she walked away.
Gabby George with this free kick, left-footed. Nearly went all the way through. United need to stop that breakaway, and do. Here's Lucy Bronze stepping in. And Cuthbert frees Walsh. And on it goes, and all of a sudden Chelsea have a break. Baltimore. Beaver-Jones is up in support. That's great cover. Now Letizia scooted across there when she saw the danger.
That's tremendous recovery, isn't it? Chelsea play the ball quickly, don't they?
It's 23 mile it is, yeah, but she's got an old head on young shoulders. She reads the game very, very well. Maybe a little bit unlucky just to get the 7 England internationals so far. Here's Millie Bright, who has 88 games for her country. Bjorn. Oh, a little fall there by Gabby George could be costly. It's a corner kick here for Chelsea. Janssen back there with the cover.
Much needed player, Janssen. Added that defensive stability. I think she's comfortable obviously dropping into the back line as well.
Was in the squad in Euro 17, as was Karen with England. In comes the cross from that corner. Bright has stayed forward. Sandy Baltimore wants to get the cross in left-footed, of course. Bjorn chases off after it. Very close game, very tight. One mistake could settle this. You hate to say it, but it might well happen. Now Cuthbert covered so much of the ground so far. Eva Jones. Athletic save again from Talis Joyce.
And there's Cuthbert again, combining with Aggie Beaver-Jones. She had some lovely shape on it, Aggie Beaver-Jones, but from that distance, she's not going to beat a goalkeeper of the quality of Fallon Talis Joyce. It's a comfortable save in the end. She moves her feet well, makes it look easy.
Looking for a cup success here. He was on the bench last year. A multi-varsity winner in the United States of America. Dominic Janssen. And here's Gabby George. Janssen, who played for a little while at international level, or all level, under the name of Bloodworth. She was married to Brandon for a couple of years. I think he was a US serviceman. But now back to plain old Dominic Janssen. Now the referee's given a free kick here against Manchester United, even though their fans are claiming there was a little push on Bisset, who's exasperated.
But again, United showing some vulnerabilities in this Chelsea back line. Just in behind the space of the wing back, Charles.
Just gone up to 50 career goals as the Norwegian international. Celine Bisset, Ildersoy. I remember her dad playing. His name was Kjell Gunnar. Here's bronze. And Ella Toon watches on, and she has cut a very unhappy figure here in the warm-up. She looked most distressed, and she looks distressed in that technical area.
I think she'll be absolutely just dying to be on the pitch, and she will have been disappointed, obviously, not to be in the starting 11. We know what she's capable of doing at Wembley. I'll be looking forward to her introduction indeed.
She was stalking through the warm-up like a cat on a hot tin roof. Looked very unhappy. She's just a born competitor. Whatever sport she does, she wants to be a winner. Walsh. Awkward ball there for Beaver-Jones to do anything with. She's really improved over the last 12 months or so. Swung out then to Niamh Charles. Did well to keep it in. Baltimore. Back to Naomi Girma. Bright has it. 5.5 minutes to go. Baltimore finding space. Can turn. Beaver-Jones again has gone to that left-hand side.
Gaps are starting to appear in between in the ranks. Chelsea players are managing to find some nice pockets of space in front and in between the midfield. I think we really just need to see this game out now. the first half in particular.
Here's Bright. But Natalie Bjorn, actually patient in the league this season. She's only had 9 or so starts, played a lot of cup football. Here's Bright. Now Baltimore. Cuthbert was fouled, play on. Beaver Jones with the first effort. Now Walsh. Ramirez with the power. And Galton with the persistence, corner ball.
It needed defending from Leah Galton, and she does exceptionally well there to usher Myra Ramirez away from danger. And we know how capable she is. So much power in her strike.
Good corner here, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, you know, there's a player down for Chelsea, but the concern for me is United getting pinned back and not having an outlet on transition. They just don't really look dangerous going forward.
She has sparkled in moments so far. London-born England international, comes from South London. Miracle Coshorton, Sonia Bonpastor, who had a wonderful playing career, let alone a managerial career. She won 13 major trophies as a player. Cup with Montpellier, cup with Lyon, cup with Lyon in a second spell, having gone out to the USA with Washington Freedom. And as a coach, of course, won the Champions League 3 times and cup with Lyon. This is when she gets injured, isn't it?
Yeah, it just looks like Grace Clinton just manages to block that shot, and Aggie Beever-Jones just strikes the underside of her foot.
So she'll have to go off for a little while. 13 goals she scored this season. Chelsea's top scorer out there. No Lauren James out injured. No Sam Kerr, of course. Missed the whole season. In comes the Baltimore cross. Headed away. Partially. Oh, that's a penalty. That's a penalty. Manchester United will protest Celine Bisset's foul. But it was a risky move to make against the player advancing at that pace, and Cuthbert went down. My first reaction was stonewall penalty. We'll see it again.
It has to be. That's just incredibly clumsy, erratic and irrational from Celine Bisset. I think she knows what's on the line. It's quite emotional, isn't it? In terms of wanting to get out there and block any sort of danger. But really, that could potentially cost Manchester United today.
It'll swing the FA Cup final the way of Chelsea. She's been a frustrated figure, Bisset. She hasn't really got into the game. But her leg was high and across Erin Cuthbert. There is VAR at the final today. Peter Banks is in the VAR booth with Eddie Smart alongside him. But there are no signs here that that is being checked. Oh, it's been confirmed now. I can hear it in my ears. The check has been completed, and they will have a penalty. So it's up to Fallon Tellis-Joyce, who's had a fine FA Cup final, to stop Sandy Baltimore putting Chelsea ahead. A little bit of gamesmanship going on. The Manchester United goalkeeper has the ball, picked it up off the spot, rolls it away, risks a yellow card, getting a ticking off from the referee.
She's in the zone now.
It's a glare from Niamh Charles. Baltimore, oh, she's put that ball down on the spot very flat. Hasn't spun it back to sit it up. She's a left-footed player against one of the goalkeepers of the season to give Chelsea the lead. Last minute of the half, Sandy Baltimore puts the goalkeeper the wrong way. It's Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0. It's been coming really because they've squeezed and squeezed, and the pressure has been on Manchester United, increasingly so. Penalty given for the foul on Cuthbert, and stroked home very neatly by Sandy Baltimore.
And listen to what it means. Limbs in that Chelsea end. But what a cool penalty from Sandy Baltimore. Not much of an approach, quite short. A little change of pace to build some momentum into the strike. Lovely shape there, and ultimately as a goalkeeper, when you go the wrong way, you sell yourself short. Could Valentin's Joyce have been more patient? But that's clutch, isn't it, for Sonia Bonpastor's side? Arguably could say you've got one hand on the trophy.
Advantage, Chelsea. It's her 8th goal of the season. And we're into added time, 5 minutes of it. She's had a fine campaign, really, especially when I've seen her playing left wing back, where she's poured forward from that position. I mean, I don't think when they signed her from PSG, many Chelsea fans would have seen her playing back there, but when she's been asked to do it, she's done it very well.
Well, she's been absolutely exceptional filling in for the injured knee of Charles, hasn't she?
Here is Charles. He was out with a dislocated shoulder in the opening months of the campaign. She will be hoping to go with England to the European finals. Lauren James is being given time to get back to fitness. Serena Wiegmann's squad to go out to Switzerland. And food for thought for the Manchester United coach, Mark Skinner. He's had to work really hard to get where he is in the game of football. He's a former teacher who's at Solihull College. Surely he's going to have to bring Ella Toone into the play.
It's just lacking that creativity, isn't it, for Manchester United at the moment?
Baltimore. Chelsea throw. But to be as competitive as they have when they lost so many players. Earps went, of course. Nikita Paris went. Katie Zellum, crucial. Went out to the USA, to Angel City. Crucial partnership with Ella Toone she had in the United midfield for so long. Here's Guillemot, good passing defender. Moves well. Here's Millie Bright and Natalie Bjorn, all of them internationals, and well-established internationals at that. Bright into Kira Walsh, another one. She's played for England 84 times. Turn her away.
Chelsea look like they're really finding their rhythm now, don't they, JP?
1-0 to Chelsea. And here's Clinton. Bisset. Very quick to get two players around her. Matisse brings it out for Manchester United. Ball played in behind Eva Manning. They haven't looked like scoring. This is a team that's reached the final having scored 18 goals and conceded just once. Only 3 WSL teams have ever reached the final with a better goal difference than their 17. One of those was Chelsea back in 17-18. Up by Turner. Free kick to Manchester United. Just a buffeting challenge there. She got a little bit too tight. Kira Walsh, the offender. A chance right on half-time, because we're into the last 30 seconds of stoppage time now for Manchester United to get back into the game.
It would be huge for United to make this count, wouldn't it, JP? Just at the end of half-time, take that into the changing room. big momentum turner, possibly.
So we're moving left to right. Galton in there. Galton rises. It's to that far post. Good defending, suspicion of a free kick actually there. And the referee's given it. She wasn't helped by the assistant. His flag stayed down. Referee's given that. I thought it was a foul.
Yeah, from here it looks a bit innocuous. But as you can see in the middle of your screen, Grace Clinton just goes through the back of Erin Cuthbert.
Only been on the periphery of the game. England international Grace Clinton. Bisset likewise. Galton, we've not seen anything really of Leah Galton in an attacking mode. Ramirez, she's been there outball. United haven't really had one. And half-time comes at Wembley Stadium with Sandy Baltimore's penalty separating the two sides. What have you made of the first 45, Karen?
I thought Manchester United managed the first 10 minutes pretty well, kept Chelsea at bay, had a few opportunities from across from Turland and one shot over the bar from Dominic Janssen, but really in terms of creativity, that's been it for me. Not enough, and then the tables turned. I think Chelsea really turned the screw, didn't they, and had majority of the momentum and possession for the remainder of the first half.
Thomas Joyce with a couple of smart saves as well. The holder's grip on the trophy is relaxing as Chelsea move in on the treble, leading at Wembley Stadium at half-time, 1-0. Welcome back to the second half. A little bit of pale sunshine on the Chelsea players' huddle as they lead here with the Sandy Baltimore late first half penalty. But Manchester United are making a significant change. Ella Toone is coming on for them to replace Millie Turner, who picked up that injury at the end of the first half. Toone greeted wildly by the Manchester United players. Fans, I should say, scored the opening goal in their 4-0 win over Tottenham in last season's FA Cup final. The only English player to score in consecutive finals, Georgia Stanway with Manchester City in 2019-2020. She will make the difference. You'd think that Dominic Janssen will drop back into defence. But what now changes with this FA Cup final with Toone on?
I think she brings some control and creativity to the midfield. We have to see Manchester United get higher up the pitch and utilise their wingers better. They've just not been in the game, and there's not really been much of a goal threat at all for Manchester United. So it's time to roll the dice for Mark Skinner.
Be very surprising also if Manchester United do not look to give Rachel Williams a role in the game. She had a terrific final last year. She can lead the line well. Manchester United in the red shirts and black shorts get us off and underway, kicking towards their fans at the east end of the ground, the old tunnel end of the ground, and in the well-worn but beloved old Wembley Stadium. Here's Baltimore. Back it goes then to Guillemot. And Baltimore again. Manchester United win it back quite high. Miyazawa. Mannion managed to bundle away beyond Niamh Charles, and she's brought in Toone, her first touch of the ball, and electricity sparkles through Wembley Stadium as she picked that up. Mannion, perhaps an opportunity here for Bisset, just checks back, crowd like that as well. Mannion with the cross switch to her left foot, comes out to Bisset, shot hit Walsh. Bisset on the outside, has support from Aoife Mannion, just delayed the cross a little bit, gets it in, and there's a header on goal, straight at the goalkeeper. It's a chance that falls to Liz Turland.
It's a good ball out wide from Aoife Mannion into the area to find that threat of Elizabeth Turland. She does well to get something to it. I think Natalie Bjorn quells any sort of real danger. But again, head in hands from Mark Skinner. Like I said earlier in the first half, he knows he's not going to get that many chances.
Charlotte Healy, I think it is, on the bench talking to him there, his assistant coach. And free kick given in the end. Elizabeth Turner hasn't seen anything of her really this season. Got 12 goals in this campaign, 10 in the league. She's joint third highest scorer in the WSL this year. Now Charles. Back to Gimmer. Dave Walsh, an awkward ball to deal with because Toon was there. Minnie Bright with a foul. Manchester United with a spring in their step, having their talismanic Toon on the field of play. Bright with the foul. So steady this year, badly missed by Club and Country when she was out for that long period. But this season she's only missed 3 games in all competitions. Toon stands over it. She wants to be part of everything at the moment. Miyazawa. Here's George finding Bisset. 4 to hit in the middle. Cross deflected up off Erin Cuthbert, who chases back as well. At the centre of most things, not just in this final but in most games for Chelsea. Cuthbert, but they bypassed her this time. Clinton with the cross in. Yerma with a subtle touchdown. And Chelsea get it away from Manchester United throw-in. Here's Janssen, who's indeed dropped deeper. Now Gabby George. Janssen's available again from Leah Galton, of whom we've seen very little. And here's Maya Letizier. Bisset. Whipped around the corner there by Clinton. And Chelsea cleared to Maya Ramirez. There you see evidence of the strength and the purpose here. And she's running Gabby George, who needed to get her second really well-timed challenge in of the game. 49 minutes played. Chelsea lead 1-0. And he's thinking about making another change. Rachel Williams would be an obvious one for them, wouldn't it?
She would, but I'm wondering if he might leave that a little bit later. To be fair, he's not got many choices on the bench. It's not as deep as Chelsea's, obviously.
That's a foul. Galton with the challenge on Lucy Bronze. Wasn't a great deal in that. I think she's been cautioned there. Didn't see a yellow card, but I think the referee reached for it. A little bit of a nutmeg.
She'll be furious. And Lucy Bronze will be absolutely buzzing with that. It's one of those little personal 1v1 battles, isn't it? You always want to make someone where you can. Key moment here for Chelsea, though.
Yellow card for Leah Galton. United could do with Galton scoring. They're unbeaten in 41 games when she scored a goal for it. 5.5 minutes to go. 5.5 minutes gone in the second half. In comes the cross then towards that far post. That's almost a free header. United felt there was a foul in there. Back in by Bright, who's there again for Chelsea. Awkward ball for Walsh to deal with, and now Manchester United can break. He did a quality ball up there. Turlen knocked it on, but there was cover for Chelsea, and good cover as well. Gimmer saw the danger coming.
Bisset does really well here on the break to recognize danger. As soon as it falls to her, Turlin's on her way. Could she put a little bit more on it just to beat the back line? But that's up world class. Naomi Girma, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Rated as one of the best defenders in the world. That's given away by Miyazawa. Next goal in this cup final, absolutely crucial. If Chelsea get it, you would think it was game over. Manchester United can make a real game of it, though. As I said in the first half, they've been free scoring in this competition. Here's Al waiting for the ball to come on.
For me, I imagine the next roll of the dice for Mark Skinner's side is probably going to be Mallard, you know, in terms of adding a little bit of pace, really stretch that Chelsea back line. We've seen they've struggled with that in previous fixtures.
Bizet, round the corner to her from Mannion. Bizet takes up the running, 3 in the middle to hit. Bright, though, was well placed to get it away. Only as far as 2. The crowd was expectant. Manchester United fans thought that was their moment, but it's come and gone.
Unlike earlier in the first half when it fell to Dominique Jensen, this is exactly the girl that you want it to fall to, Ella Toon. But it just doesn't drop quite quickly enough. Could she have stayed over it? She doesn't get quite a full swing of the leg at it, JP, to make the best contact that she needs.
Ramirez dumped Letizia there. She's pleading to the referee for a free kick that didn't come. Clinton. Erin Cuthbert has just been immense again.
Brilliant.
She pulled back there. There's going to be a yellow card for Clinton. She was frustrated. She thought she was fouled, didn't she?
Indeed. But no, Erin Cuthbert, that quality on the ball. She gets herself in between the defender. Grace Clinton here protects the ball so well, manages to keep control and bring her Chelsea teammates into play. But yeah, Grace Clinton's going to need to manage that emotion, channel it onto the pitch. Baltimore.
Clinton was there again. Can't risk another foul so quickly, having been yellow carded. Baltimore. I guess Cuthbert can roam and rove and get the challenges, knowing that Kira Walsh is there behind her at times. They dovetail well. Here's Baltimore. There is Walsh. And she looks for Ramirez to pressure Letizia again. The back pass a little bit soft. Taylor's Joyce had to get it away at a rush. Manchester United living dangerously at the back. Goalkeeper's been super for them. Hampton in contrast really has only had a couple of saves to make. But that was slanted away poorly, and Manchester United have a throw. Bright sunshine now, blue skies over the Wembley Arch above us. Crowd on the far side bathed in sunshine. We're freezing over here.
I've got far too many coats on.
Toon. Oh, they got away with that one. Looked like a little bit of a push. Here's Gabby George. Galton. Flag stays down. Chelsea are appealing. And now it goes up. It's offside. From the naked eye, it looked as if she was offside. See, she's offside there.
It's the right decision. But Manchester United are going to have to find a way to get some sort of energy back into their side, aren't they, JP? Starting to wane just a little bit.
Well, he said he had plans for all the phases of the game beforehand. But Sonia Bonpastor, having won the League Cup, looking to send Chelsea to victory in both domestic cups in the same campaign for the first time since they themselves won the treble in 2020-21. Beat Bristol City in the League Cup, beat Arsenal in the FA Cup that year. That's a foul to Manchester United. There's going to be a caution here for Cuthbert.
It's a phenomenal little battle in the midfield between these two, Erin Cuthbert and Grace Clinton, just exchanging blows for blows. Such similarities. Both winners, both aggressive, both know what's on the line, don't they?
Erin Cuthbert's also been around forever and a day, and she's still only 26. There's so many more miles left in those legs. There's Chelsea look for Ramirez. This could be awkward for Manchester. That's a super challenge by Janssen. Comfortable player and centre-back, played them many, many times at club and indeed international level.
Crucial, well-timed challenge, though.
Beaver Jones, quieter in the second half so far, very dangerous in the first. Ramirez, can she get a cross in? Yes, she did. Look at the Baltimore. Sloppy defending that to allow her to get the cross in. Could have been game over there and then. Miyazawa with the challenge, not giving us a free kick. The challenge on Beaver Jones. Now here's Maya Letizia. Scored against Sunderland earlier on in the run. We need a goal here in the final from somewhere.
That Chelsea backline are managing the space in front and in behind really quite well. I think the movement from the front three of Manchester United isn't quite dynamic enough, not quite what they need at this moment in time.
It'll be George with the throw. Up goes Bronze. The Chelsea defence looks so well set, so well organised, the back three. Immovable. George. Right-footed cross, knocked out of the air well by Hannah Hampton.
I think we saw this obviously in the first half. We know that Gabby George is good with those crosses in the air, but I'm sure she'd prefer that on her left foot.
Cuthbert. Well, I'm honoured to have a vote with the Football Writers Association for the Footballer of the Year every year, and Erin Cuthbert got my vote for the Women's Footballer of the Year this year. Did her no good, she didn't win it, but I thought she's been the best player. She's the glue that sticks this Chelsea team together. Has been for years. Bronze under good pressure there from Gabby George. And a substitution for Chelsea. Katrina Macario is going to come on.
Spoil of riches, that Chelsea bench, isn't it?
US international, born in Brazil, came from Lyon. Again, Chelsea win it back quite deep in their own half, but prepared to run with the ball as Beaver Jones, as she has been all game long, all season long. And here's Ramirez, who I presume would go off from Macario to come on. She's a centre forward. She's had an immense role to play for Chelsea here, hasn't she, today, Ramirez?
Yeah, I still think I'd like to see more of her, you know, in terms of the conversion of that threat to goals, to chances. But she's always patrolling that back line, isn't she? She's always making herself a danger.
As is Lucy Bronze here now. Ramirez is at the far stick. Beaver Jones in the middle of the penalty, aimed at Ramirez, headed up by Mannion, back to Lucy Bronze. Scuffed her shot. Toon heads on. Here's Galton. Look at Lucy Bronze. Look at Brucey Bronze prepared to chase back there for the course. Terrific endeavour, terrific character. An injury problem here for Leah Galton. Kept quiet by Lucy Bronze so far. And Lucy Bronze is calling to the referee to stop this. She has done now with the free kick. It's Chelsea pointing out to the referee there was an injury to a Manchester United player.
She looks in significant distress, doesn't she? But as you say there, I think Lucy Bronze does really, really well to track back. She knows the danger that Leah Galton possesses, gets across Leah Galton, but unfortunately brings her down on that right shoulder.
Well, Ramirez goes off and Macario comes on. This injury to Galton looks worrying.
I thought it was going to be her shoulder at first, but it doesn't look that way, does it?
No, I think she popped her shoulder as she went down. Certainly, Lucy Bronze realised that it was potentially a nasty one straight away. On comes Macario. You know, the club about 18 months, and he coming up 2 years, 10 goals this season for her. Chelsea got goals throughout the entire squad. She's scored in her career 104 goals in 161 senior games. moved from Brazil when she was 12. Played for a junior club called San Diego Surf.
I used to play against them quite a lot.
Well, that's your part of the world, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah. Shout out to my old club team, SoCal Blues. We had quite a rivalry with the San Diego Surf growing up. Lots of top talent come out of that.
Torrey Pines Cardinal, she played for them as well.
High school, yeah. Brilliant.
And then on to Stanford University. Where did you, which uni
I went to Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, all right.
Go Titans. No, but some really good programs, really good players comes out of those programs.
A lot of former England internationals did. Again, close-up of the Manchester United hierarchy.
I think for me, it's nice to see Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox here supporting the women's team. I obviously have links to them via Manchester City before they left.
Wilcox there, with the greying hair now. He was a good player in his time, wasn't he?
Won the league, the Premier League with Blackburn, was it?
Yeah. David Gill was sitting alongside him.
He never let me forget that, you know.
He had a big role, David Gill, during the Alex Ferguson era. A wonderful era which will never be repeated by any football club. As much as fans would like to dream, and I know Manchester City won 4 in a row, but that length of domination of any football domestic scene will never be repeated in England. And that was the penalty moment. And that's the one moment that separates the side, Sandy Baltimore from the spot.
She was so calm in that moment as well. She knew what was on the line. I still think Fallon Tillis-Joyce could have been more patient, could have waited a little bit longer, because with her span, what is she, 6'1", 6'2"? I mean, I'm tall, but she's huge.
Well, let's hope the break doesn't go on much longer, because if it does, I'm seeing the close-up there of Sandy Baltimore. I'm thinking of giving you a rendition of Sandy from Greece, which would not be good for anyone. I can promise you that. Well, she's going to play a role.
You called it, JP.
Well, we were talking about it, weren't we, at half-time, and you just know what you're going to get with Rachel Williams throughout her career. And she's had a long, long career. Started off at Leicester, Donny Bells, and she just puts in 100% effort in everything she does.
She does. She's the definition of a team player, and I think she will just work her socks off, put her body in line, and do whatever it takes. And I think that's an injection that Manchester United sorely need.
Cup winner with Birmingham. And here's a chance for Niamh Charles to get a cross in. Oh, it's come off Gabby George. Goodness me. That was so close to a second for Chelsea, and that would have settled it.
Dear me, a smile on her face. She is relieved, as are the rest of her Manchester United teammates. That's a good ball. Again, that space down that opposite side as well. Niamh Charles get a ball. Could have more bodies in the box, but nearly came off fortuitously for Chelsea. Thank goodness it didn't for Gabby George.
In comes the corner kick, well met in the middle by Letizia. Plot forward into the mix by Walsh, and eventually wide it goes, off target by Katerina Macario, her first effort since coming off the bench. It's a good header away.
It's the importance of being able to clear your lines as a defender, as a midfielder. You come out marking, you always know who you need to be picking up, sensing the danger. But oof, that was a bullet dodged for Manchester United.
Well, she was smiling at it. Not too sure Fallon Tillis-Joyce saw the joke. Here come Chelsea again down their left. They're just beginning to step up the pressure, as they did in the first half. Slowly squeezed up the tempo. Macario, it's a good cross looking for Lucy Bronze, and away it goes. Manchester United hard pressed again now. Bjorn for Chelsea. Oh, lovely little drop of the shoulder there by Beaver Jones to manipulate the ball away to her left-hand side. Took it off her back foot to give her an extra half a yard. Good player, good, really good player in the making.
I think that's something that I was expecting to see a bit more from Amir. Is we know that she likes to run into the wide areas, but Kat Macario does so well. She's comfortable in that 10 role as well, to drop into midfield, receive the ball face up, or lay a player off to build. And she's been dangerous since she's come on.
Goulton okay, and smiling. Got strong sunshine now. And free kick here for Manchester United.
Looks like we're readying Melvine Mallard on the opposite side, Manchester United.
Well, she has pace. French international. Marla Tissier, United captain. That was a little bit lackadaisical.
You can see Fallon Tullis-Joyce trying to get her team up the pitch. Start position slightly higher in possession, but unfortunately passes are just slightly wayward and loose.
Could well be Aoife Mannion who goes off for Manchester United. That's what we're hearing. Beaver Jones. That's rather given away by Bisset, who's had a disappointing cup final. In comes across from Macario. Desperate last challenge there to stop Lucy Bronze, who again had got in that position so dangerously and has stayed down. She's got forward in that position very, very well today. But we were talking earlier about the Lionesses in Canada in 2015. And she got forward so well in those finals. And then for sort of 3 or 4 years after that, she didn't really. Now she's doing it again. Serena Wiegman looking on there.
Yeah, she'll be concerned if this is something significant, I think, for Lucy Bronze. But you can see here again that injection of energy from Kat Macario and that wing-back role that Lucy Bronze is playing down that right-hand side. She's so capable with her energy to get across the likes of Leah Galton. And again, good fortune shining on Manchester United.
Well, Mallard, I think, will play higher the pitch, and Bisset will go back to right back. Might even be a right wing back if they pull Gabby George into a left side centre back of 3. And then Galton presumably will be the left wing back if they do use a 3.
Looks that way, yeah.
Which will marry up to Chelsea's formation. And George has gone out wide to that left-hand side again, feeds Galton. Bundled over there, free kick given.
I think obviously the danger of going toe-to-toe with Chelsea is you are essentially 1v1 in some really dangerous areas, the likes of Kat Macario up against Maya Tissier. That will be an interesting battle.
Here's George. 20 minutes to go in the cup final. They're running from the deep. Toon, the free kick, the penalty kick not given. Out came Hampton with the challenge. It was not Toon. Who was that for Manchester? Is it Turner?
Yeah.
There's Toon trying to battle back for it. Janssen. If he stopped it for a free kick. I didn't think that was a penalty, did you?
No, not at all. I think it's actually really good goalkeeping from Hannah Hampton. She's on her front foot. She recognises where the danger is in terms of that channel ball. She's out very quickly, very decisive. It's unfortunate she doesn't hold on to it, but it's no doubt a save in my mind.
Should she go to the European Championships as England's #1?
Oh, you dropped the bomb. Oh. Listen, if you're asking me what I think Serena Wiegman is going to do, yes, I think that's what's going to happen.
Mary Earps, of course, was one of the heroes when they won it. That's another cynical challenge there by George, and he gets a yellow card. So both on that left-hand side for Manchester United have been cautioned now, Galton and George.
That's just Gabby George in a nutshell, though. She's such a competitive player. She's really channeled her physicality to evolve into the wing back that you see before you, but she's never lost that physicality in the challenge.
Cousin played for Manchester United as well, Jessie Lingard. She doesn't look right, does she, Leah Galton?
No, we've not seen the best of Leah Galton today either going forward.
Macario for Chelsea. Baltimore's in the middle. She did well there. Bronze trying to force her way into the penalty. Very impressive today, Lucy Bronze. Cuthbert as well. Here's Millie Bright. Baltimore. And can Manchester United get going? Mallard, who's playing on this right-hand side. Galton on the left. Super challenge on her by Bjorn. Walsh then prods out wide to Beaver Jones. Baltimore, little flick off Beaver Jones. Well played, Gabby George. She was in there. That would have been curtains, I think, for Manchester United. But Chelsea are probing, and Chelsea are finding spaces and creating chances.
Bit disappointed, I think, with Ella Toon. When she's come on the pitch, she's not really contributed to what we're used to seeing.
Baltimore back to goal. Yeah, runners arriving, now pulls it back, and it's skied rather inelegantly as well by Beaver Jones.
Oh, that's just not the quality that we're used to seeing from the likes of Aggie Beaver Jones. Again, Kat Macario putting in one heck of a shift into that wide area. The interchange seamlessly of Sandy Baltimore moving to that central area for the set to Aggie Beaver Jones, but she skies it into Rosette.
Do you think Ella Toon has a problem? She looks so distressed. She wasn't starting. In the warm-up, we noticed it. The body language wasn't great. She stood aside from the rest of the group on a couple of occasions. She's come on. She just does not look right to me. She's now talking to some of the Manchester United teammates.
I mean, I know as a player, obviously she'll be massively disappointed with not being on the team sheet to start with. But she knows the effect that she can have on this team, but she needs players to combine with, and she's not had that. She's not had anyone in terms of a set from Turland or Mallard to help shift the momentum in Manchester United's favour.
Change here for Chelsea. Beaker Captain is coming on to replace Beaver Jones. Now, this 19, or she turned 20 in August, has had a really important role to play. She joined a couple of seasons ago from 20 Enschede. She was never present in the Champions League campaign. And of course, she has a League Winners' Medal and a League Cup Winners' Medal as well now. In the Cup of 22. Really important player of the Dutch international.
I really like Vika Kaptein. I think she's a tremendous talent. So good with the ball at her feet, really creative. Puts in a shift, happy to play anywhere for the team. And she scored some crucial goals, I think, this season for Chelsea. Interesting to see where she slots in.
Because she's plays deeper, doesn't she?
She can, yeah, she's quite obviously mobile. She can play in that holding midfield role, or, you know, just keep the ball ticking over in central midfield, or sit in as a 10 and start to create. It's so nice to have that versatility, I think, for Sonia Van-Pastoor's side.
I think you look at the performances of Cuthbert, Baltimore, Bronze, Germa, Bright and Bjorn have been so solid. They probably have the best 5 or 6 players in the final.
Indeed, I think Baltimore's played an interesting role today. I think with that back three initially, she's kind of moved into midfield from time to time to be an extra body, an extra pass when needed.
Janssen. Held up well by Mallard. Gabby George has departed. Sandberg has come on. She's gone on to Gabby George's left fullback position. That is where she played. And signed last summer from Häcken for what was allegedly a Swedish record. What is his game plan now? Time ticks away for the Manchester United coach. He's had 2 substitution windows used. 2 coming on at half-time doesn't count, of course, as a window. Helen Tullis-Joyce. The wind is beginning to get a little bit mischievous. Held up for Manchester United by Mallard. If she's going to have a real impact, they need to get her high up the pitch. Here's Bizet now, operating in the right fullback position. Breaks kindly for her to look for Leah Galton. It sort of sums up her contribution since she came on.
It was the right pass, I think, to be fair to her. It was a defence-splitting pass, broke loads of lines, but unfortunately there was just no run on the end of it.
Manchester United just can't get going in midfield. That was Clinton. Since another Chelsea goal is coming. Lucy Bronze, 12 minutes to go. Chelsea pressing. And then towards Macario, who's already done well. Bronze, captain's on the right corner of the penalty area, trotting across to support Lucy Bronze, who settled for that. That's a very steady FA Cup final Lucy Bronze at MBE has had. In fact, I think I'm doing her an injustice by saying just steady.
No, she's done quite a shift today, up and down the pitch, contributing to attacks, makes some crucial tackles.
Macario to the dead ball line, just defended there by Miyazawa, who's been quiet for Manchester United. Not seen any real creativity from her. Bronze was just steered away, but look how high Chelsea are pressing again. This is what they did in the first half. Just steadily, Bjorn, Bright and Germer pushed 2 or 3 yards further forward, then 5 or 6 yards further forward.
Absolutely, yeah, just taking the space where you can, growing into possession, growing into control. But I think you have to remind everyone that it's still only 1-0, and we've seen what United can do on that counter-attack. It can be dangerous, but it's just not quite clicking for United today, is it?
Hooked on there by Lucy Bronze. Williams is about to come on then for Manchester United. In fact, it's going to be a double substitution.
Fallon Tullis-Joyce is down in Manchester United's box as well, so crucial time for the Manchester United staff members to get some information into these players. I imagine we'll see a bit of a roll of the dice, because it certainly needs it from Manchester United's perspective.
Yeah, Fallon Tullis-Joyce is down. Will this affect the substitution plans?
Substitutions for Manchester United. Leaving the field, number 15, Celine Bissett. Replaced by number 28, Rachel Williams.
To be replaced by Rachel Williams, who will come on up top.
They're really going to push their wing backs forward, I think. They have to go for it with only 9 minutes left.
And Lisa Norson replaces Hinata Miyazawa. He's been really quiet, hasn't she?
Yes, I don't think she's really gotten into any sort of rhythm this game. It's unfortunate, because up until this moment I think she has had a relatively good season as well. Still a young player. And it's just not quite clicked for the Manchester United midfield.
Serena Williams, one of 74,412 here. Little girl. I used to cover Wimbledon back in the day.
Is there anything you didn't do?
Star in a West End musical, but as I said, that's I think that would be I don't think that would be a wise decision, to be fair. Now, a little flick on for Chelsea, sends the ball out wide, and Macari, she's been absolutely brilliant since she came on. And she's played it in here, and there's a cross from Vika captain. And then the second ball across, looking once again for Macari. One moment she's on the right-hand side, the next minute on the left. She's all action since she came on.
Yeah, she's absolutely full of beans, isn't she? She covers so much distance. And she's so dangerous. Little intricate through balls, but that energy of Vika Captain as well to get forward. I think for me it was going to be initially quite a tactical substitution in terms of a bit more protection for that back line in midfield, but she's got that attacking quality as well.
Well, Manchester United certainly have gone for it with their substitutions. It might leave gaps at the back. Here's Cuthbert to take on Sandberg. And she was tripped by the Manchester United substitute. And one or two Manchester United heads are beginning to droop on shoulders.
I think it's just a class apart here. Anna Sandberg tries to move her feet quickly, is just a bit clumsy. Erin Cuthbert, she's just constantly on the move, constantly changing direction, chopping and changing. She's so difficult to defend. Little feint here and there, drop of the shoulder, and she's on her way.
Chelsea closing in on the domestic trouble. Baltimore will take this free kick. Manchester United have effectively rolled their dice with the substitutes, and Chelsea clinch the FA Cup with Caterina Macario, their super sub, heading home with 6 minutes to go. Lovely free kick whipped in. She got away from her markers with the free header, and she cements a fantastic season with her 11th goal of it. And Chelsea will win the treble in English women's football this season.
And listen to that roar. And look at Kat Macario's reaction. That's how much it means. She went through so much in the previous seasons, but what fantastic ball in here from Sandy Baltimore. And the determination from Kat Macario to get across her marker, Maya Letitia. Serena Wiegman will not be happy to see that. It was far, far too easy for Kat Macario to get in front, goal side. And all she has to do is make solid contact, and the pace on the ball takes it past the Manchester United goalkeeper, Valentulis Joyce. And I know that feeling all too well, Sonia.
Well, what an impact she has had since coming in to Chelsea. I mean, replacing Emma Hayes, who has reached 7 FA Cup finals herself, and to win the FA Cup, the Women's League Cup, and the women's title in her first year, outstanding. Progress of Chelsea, the dominance of Chelsea, unruffled. Manchester United have been well beaten. Can they stage something of a recovery? And there will be questions asked about the fact that Ella Toone was left out from the start. Did it affect morale? Certainly seems to have affected her. Was there a problem in why she didn't start? Was there an injury problem? We'll find out in the post-mortem to this game as Chelsea look for another. Here's Macario. She really has caused danger. Taking on Janssen. Oh, see you later. In comes the cross, looking then for Baltimore. And the effort scuffed over in the end by Vika Capti.
Oh, it's a bit of a circus back there for Manchester United. 6s and 7s. Kat Macario again showing that elite world-class quality as she just skips past Dominique Janssen. The composure there. And Sandy Baltimore with her back to goal to lay off Far too easy.
And she's had a strong final. If you are looking for like the strongest 6-7 players on the field of play, they're all wearing blue, aren't they?
Undoubtedly, yes.
Captain, Dutch international, scored recently for them in the game against Austria. Will get goals off target there. Erin Cuthbert's got to be named as the official Adobe WFA Cup final player of the match.
I agree with that.
I just don't think you ever see Erin Cuthbert turn in a bad performance.
I mean, she's been playing for ages, but I agree with you. Very, very infrequent.
Williams looked for Mallard. She hasn't been able to get into the game. Clinton flicked ball through, looking for Mallard again, didn't come off. It was Turland who played it forward. Toon trying to build things up. Williams turns it on. Rachel Williams can make things happen, we know that. All her appearances this season have come from the bench, really. She scored 2 goals in 3 sub-appearances in this competition this season, Williams. Out comes Hampton, secure goalkeeping. That's what you want to see from your goalkeeper at this late stage, don't you?
You beat me to it, absolutely. The pressure that relieves from any side is just so crucial and important, especially with a cup on the end, on the line. Just gives you that control, settles any remaining nerves.
Headed on by Galton, but it's a forlorn hope now for Manchester United. Chelsea, apart from that early little flurry, Turland had the effort and 1 or 2 moments. Chelsea been second best. Here's Makaria. What an impact she's had off the bench. Baltimore played well all the way through. They've got a chance here for Charles to cut the ball back. Was it out of play? 1 or 2 Manchester United players appealing. I don't think it was. Baltimore chasing back. She pulled back the Manchester United player Melvin Mallard, and we'll get a yellow for that.
It's just all Chelsea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely all Chelsea. Looks like another change for Chelsea is impending.
Baltimore, their second player to get a yellow card. 5 yellows in the final. Referee's done well in her first Wembley appearance. Sandberg battled back for Manchester United. Her time will come. She's only 21. And at the back by Bjorn. Solid as a rock there. Sandberg again. Can Manchester United get a consolation? I don't think it'll be more than that. And not like that, they won't. There's not a quality ball in to Turland. And we're into additional time. And there will be a whopping 10 minutes of it.
Obviously there was that lengthy stoppage with Leah Galton, but that surprises me a little bit.
Well, it's a boost for the Manchester United fans, many of whom have stayed in their seats at the east end of the stadium. Letizier won that just. Makario again battling. Galton trapped back, she's put Sandberg under pressure. Chance here for Chelsea. Ball deep into the penalty area, looking at Baltimore, and she's poked it in. It's over now. Their second of the game. The penalty just before half-time opened up the cup final, and Sandy Baltimore has just closed the door shut on Manchester United. 3-0 to Chelsea, the treble, the 3rd trophy for Sonia Bonpastor. What a season, what a team, and what a fantastic display today.
And again, what a fantastic showing from the Chelsea faithful. They'll be loving this. But what an unrivaled season Chelsea are having. Absolutely incredible. It's desire desire here, isn't it? To press, to make something happen, and they've been doing this all season long, Chelsea. There's that effort from Sandy Baltimore to attack the area. Just gets on the wrong side of her defender, and it's just far, far too easy for Sandy Baltimore at the end of the day, but she has to smash it home past Nelson. Makes good contact, shoulder down, head over the ball. Absolutely no chance for foul until it's Joyce in the Manchester United goal, and let the celebrations begin for Bon Pastor on her side as Guro Wrighton looks next to come on.
Well, Lisa Nelson wasn't strong enough there, or perhaps hungry enough. And Baltimore certainly was. And they're going to bring on 3 substitutes, Chelsea. Guro Wrighton is one of them. She's had injury problems this season. Here's Letizia, not been her game today. And once again, Nelson caught napping. Letizia comes across. That should be a Manchester United throw. Wrighton, Kanerud.
And Shukanushkin, wow, imagine bringing those 3 off the bench. So deep. So much quality.
Off goes Sandy Baltimore to great acclaim from the Chelsea faithful.
I think she's been excellent today. Really put in a shift, getting forward down this left-hand side, moving into the midfield from time to time when needed.
And if the roar for her display was immense, the roar to greet Guro Wrighton is equally loud. Had her injury problems this season, a back problem, but she has been immense for Chelsea since joining in May 2019. Lucy Bronze goes off, and Johanna Rytting-Kanerud comes on to replace her. Another full international. He's played in European finals, in World Cup finals. Erin Cuthbert, the player of the match, departs. And Shukanushkin comes on. But it goes without saying, a full international. She played for Germany over 40 times. He missed 1 league game this season, a couple of Champions League goals for her. They've got a huge squad, they've got the biggest squad, they've got the best squad, they win everything.
Yeah, they do, and they're so full of quality, aren't they? We've only seen infrequent moments where they've been had a poor performance or been behind the 8 ball. We had that little blip, didn't we, in December, I think it was, where they drew with Leicester City 1-1, and that was a shock. But obviously Champions League is where they've really struggled the most and where those reinforcements were brought in. But today, and just enjoy the day, enjoy the butterflies at the start of the game. What a moment.
It was a rear blip, wasn't it? The 1-1 with Leicester, the 2-2 away at Brighton, the 2-2 at home to West Ham, and that's it. That's it. They won everything else.
Absolutely incredible. Was it 60 points that they were on at the end of the season? Yeah,
12 points clear.
Unbelievable.
I mean, last season they won it on goal difference. So
yeah.
It's just that they've yawned away from the rest, a yawning chasm.
Let's hope that doesn't get any bigger. It needs to stay competitive, the WSL.
Manchester United joyous 12 months ago when they won this, and deeply saddened today. Here's Rachel Williams, who can breathe happiness into any football fan with their energy, commitment, love of the game. Knows exactly where she is in life with football. She's a plumber by trade. Beg your pardon, she's a plasterer by trade. And knows exactly what football's given her. Here come Chelsea once again. Would have flattered them, I'm not too sure. Charles it was who advanced, plays back to Naomi Girma. Blocked here by Nelson. Manchester United were far too strong for Tottenham 12 months ago. They just haven't been in the same class as Chelsea today.
No, absolutely. There's a gaping chasm, I think, between these two sides based on what we've seen today. Really lacking any sort of creativity, or it's just been incongruous, really, the performances from the midfield and the front line for Manchester United, and It's completely the inverse, isn't it, for Chelsea?
And comes across for Chelsea. Wrighton's waiting in the middle. Didn't come through to her from Canarid. Like you say, imagine having the talent of Johanna Rytting-Kaneryd to bring off the bench. Around the corner it goes from Walsh. Didn't come off that time.
I think Rytting-Kaneryd has had a fantastic start to the season, but she kind of faded as the season went on, and I think there was some speculation as the season came to its conclusion that perhaps he'd be moving on in the next few seasons, but she's so full of running and energy that she can always create problems down that right-hand side for Chelsea, so I imagine they probably hold on to her a little bit longer.
Letizier, helped on by Sandberg. They can't get out of their half. Manchester United, Williams, typically robust. And United get a consolation. No, not like that. Was nothing on for Manchester United's Grace Clinton. She looked exasperated. And Charles can move forward now for Chelsea at her leisure, really, into Macario. She's leaving off Rytting-Kaneryd back into the middle. They tried to walk it into the back of the net. Past to Shokanuskin. Offside flag raised, it wouldn't have counted. Ramirez all smiles watching on.
But look at Chelsea just absolutely cutting through this Manchester United defence like a knife through butter. And oh, it's so tight, but ultimately the right decision on a platter for Nushkin.
2 minutes of stoppage time to go. Manchester United pressing for a fourth. Here's Janssen for Manchester United. They did lose Millie Turner at half-time to injury. They've given the ball away. They are absolutely out on their feet. Wrighton for Chelsea. Shot is blocked. They'll get a second effort though. Comes back to the heart of midfield captain. Might get a second chance. Here's Macario. They are literally queuing up to have a go at goal. Now Ella Toon for Manchester United hasn't galvanised them as they hoped. They might get something here now. On the counter, played in there by Williams. There's an opportunity perhaps for the shot. Well, it was whistling, but it was whistling over from Elizabeth Turner. Not her final either.
No, indeed. I think Rachel Williams actually does really well here. I think the moment's gone, and then she cuts back inside and then finds a fantastic pass to Turlin, who actually looks like she might slightly have been offside. But it's all for naught as that wayward shot sails over the bar.
I think to beat Chelsea, who are so dominant, you need 11 9 out of 10 performers on the day, and they simply haven't had anything as good as that.
No, they've had to carry a lot, United, today.
Their game breakers haven't performed. Well, Chelsea are about to celebrate yet another trophy. Bright with the header forward. Chelsea have the treble. 3 goals today has delivered them their third trophy. A super display for Sonia Bonpastor's side. Once Sandy Baltimore had put them ahead from the spot at the close of the first half, it was only going to be one story. Her goal, her second of the game, wrapped it up. Macario, super sub, scored in between. They had wonderful performances today. The player of the match in Cuthbert, and it's Chelsea treble winners and Manchester United, the holders, beaten as they return to Wembley. As triumphant as they were 12 months ago, they are despondent today. Chelsea deserve winners. A class apart, Karen Bardsley.
Absolutely, you can tell the celebrations erupting down on the pitch. Sonia Bonpastor loved the goals as they went flying in. But it's elite from Chelsea today, isn't it? An unrivaled domestic treble for these women in blue. Fantastic. I remember these scenes. Absolutely would love to be down there right now. But let the party commence, because United thought they were going to come and spoil it, but they failed to do that and went out with a whimper.
Well, Karen was a serial cup winner and trophy winner in her days as a player. but it's Chelsea who are triumphant today. And look at the scenes of joy. A wonderful display by them. They've won the 2025 Adobe Women's FA Cup final by 3 goals to 0.
So it is Chelsea who are the winners of the Adobe Women's FA Cup for 2025. A convincing victory for Sonia Bonpastor's Blues, who secure the domestic treble for the 2nd time in the club's history. Let's have a look back at how they managed it. Seems like a long time ago now, but Manchester United actually had the better of the opening exchanges, but Chelsea did impose themselves. About midway point of the first half, it was towards the end of it that they took the lead. Celine Bizet's challenge on Erin Cuthbert only ever going to have one outcome. Penalty kick coolly converted by Sandy Baltimore, the outstanding player in this FA Cup final. She's been one of Chelsea's very best in her first season in blue, and there was nothing Fallon Tullis-Joyce could have done about that. Just wasn't Manchester United's day, was it? They struggled to pose any serious threat to Hannah Hampton's goal. Elizabeth Turland tried her best there, but to no avail. A straightforward stop for the Chelsea and England keeper, who had one of her easiest afternoons of the season. Ella Toone did come off the bench at half-time. We were surprised not to see her in the starting lineup, but no repeat of her heroics in the FA Cup final a year ago. As close as she came to troubling Hampton and Chelsea this afternoon. Would it have been different if she'd been in from the off? Probably not, you've got to say. Chelsea rampant in the second half in particular, and they eventually got the second goal. Their dominance deserved. Kat Macario on as a substitute for Myra Ramirez, the player who scored it, nodding in Baltimore's free kick. And that at least Chelsea deserved. This was on 84 minutes. They'd had plenty of opportunities to extend their lead before this, and they would get a 3rd goal in stoppage time. And again it was Baltimore, so 2 goals and an assist for her. What a final and what a goal this was. Magnificent skill, wonderful composure, and a thump of a finish. The Baltimore final, they might call this in years to come. Terrific stuff from her and from Chelsea. 3-0 winners against Manchester United. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape then and look at that. 13 shots overall for Chelsea, 7 of them at Fallon Tullis-Joyce's goal. Dominant in terms of possession as well. Worthy winners, even without those statistics. Of course, it's the one at the very top that matters the most. And in the end, it was a convincing victory. Manchester United, you'd have to say, didn't really turn up on the day. But Chelsea were at their brilliant best this afternoon. Will be they who will be making that famous walk up the steps to go and collect the trophy in just a couple of moments' time. It is the 6th time in their history that Chelsea have won the FA Cup. Manchester United's 3rd successive appearance in the final ends in disappointment, as has the season for them. Albeit they've qualified for the Champions League, they will have to play an extra game in qualifying in that competition, but they really wanted to retain the FA Cup, and they wanted some measure of revenge on Chelsea, having lost twice to them in the league and been beaten by them in the final in 2023 as well. But it just wouldn't happen for them today. And as soon as Chelsea got that opening goal, the Baltimore penalty, pretty much on the stroke of half-time, it felt like there was only going to be one winner in this game. Remember, Chelsea without the likes of Lauren James and Sam Kerr, but goals no problem for them today. They've had to grind out results on many an occasion this season, but there was none of that here. It was just pure dominance. United knew they needed a perfect game pretty much. And unfortunately for them, too many of their players were just unable to make any kind of impact on the final. Nearly 75,000 in attendance to see it. And those of a blue persuasion will have thoroughly enjoyed their afternoon. Manchester United about to take the miserable walk to go and collect their runners-up medals. They're going to thank their supporters before they do that, though. So just about ready for the trophy presentation then. Let's hand you back to your commentary team of Karen Bardsley and Jonathan Pearce.
As we get ready for the presentation ceremony at Wembley Stadium. The podium is already in place at the west end of the stadium, the end occupied by the Chelsea supporters. Aaron Cuthbert has just done an interview on the field of play, the player of the match, thanking the Chelsea supporters for their singing throughout. It was a lovely final in terms of atmosphere. It was just disappointingly one-sided, I think, Karen, and Manchester United's dream of holding on to the trophy dashed by the unrivaled Chelsea Women's Football Club.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, JP. I don't think Manchester United had an answer for how much talent was on the pitch and how much they piled forward in terms of, you know, the creativity and numbers in their attack, and ultimately ruthless at the end of the day, while I think Manchester United were left trying to just put aimless balls into the area to no one really, to no avail at all. And Mark Skinner, you know, said that he was going to be determined to spoil the party, and he had a plan, but it didn't look like it went according to that plan whatsoever for me.
No, he made reference to Dancing in the Dark with Bruce Springsteen up in Manchester United territory today, but for Manchester United, Wembley proved to be Badlands today. Bit of a jungle land for them. And Millie Bright had a hungry heart, and Chelsea were tougher than the rest. And it's glory days for Chelsea.
And they're still the one.
Enough Springsteen already.
Stop it.
And we await now Millie Bright to go up and get that trophy. For Millie Bright, by the way, it's her 18th major trophy as a Chelsea player. Manchester United players have trooped off despondently on the far side. I don't know whether they were supposed to come up and get runners-up medals, but some of them have already disappeared into the tunnel. They were down at the Manchester United end, just really sort of staring blank-eyed at the Manchester United fans, waving to try and support their support. But it must be very, very hard because they know they haven't turned up.
No, I think... No, they certainly haven't, and I think the scary thing is that there is a massive gap there between this Manchester United team and this Chelsea team, even without the likes of Sam Kerr and Lauren James as well. But I have to give credit where it's due to the Manchester United support. By the time the whistle went yesterday, the Men's World Cup final, the city's end was completely empty. So the fact that they've stuck around to cheer on their side through, you know, the good and the bad, I think says a lot about their fandom.
Manchester United players are grouping now at the bottom of the stairs. It'll be a painful climb for them up to receive their losing medals, and it will be a hard day to swallow for them. The runners-up medals are going to be presented by squadron leader Rachel White. The armed forces represented today in the honour party. And up they troop, Manchester United. goes Maya Letizia leading the despondent Manchester United team in the sunshine. It is a long climb compared to the old Wembley climb. The Royal Box was just above where the tunnel is now, and they have to meander their way up through with one or two fans trying to encourage. Rachel Williams put on, but the game really was gone. George went off with an injury problem. Come on, tell us Joyce in goal, your appreciation of another goalkeeper. I thought she played well.
Certainly, I think this game, you can only deal with what's in front of you, and I think, to be honest, a few of the goals, especially against Sandy Baltimore's, it was far, far too easy for her to finish. And I think they needed a more resolute performance. But speaking about Fallon Gillis-Joyce's season on the whole, I think it's been a really, really positive one, and she's certainly stamped her authority in the WSL and for Manchester United. But there's one person that will be savagely disappointed.
And I think criticism will come of the decision. They'll need to explain why Latoon wasn't in the starting lineup. She puts the runners-up medal around her neck. Well played, because it's a horrible thing to see the players almost trashing a runners-up medal. We've seen that too often in recent years in the men's game. But she's a born winner, and she'll hate this moment. And there will be questions that need to be answered, I think.
No, indeed. Listen, I think you're used to seeing Ella Toone come off the bench, or not come off the bench, but make an impact when she is in the game. And I think perhaps, yes, Mark Skinner did just get that one a little bit wrong.
Well, we might find out there was an injury from this. Sue Hopp playing a role again. That's the upper echelons of Manchester United. Mark Skinner will go through. He has taken Manchester United to 3 FA Cup finals in a row. Took Birmingham to the Cup final as well. She looks absolutely wrecked, Ella Toone, emotionally.
I think you have to give her a lot of context as well. Obviously she's had a pretty rough season. She lost her father this year as well, and this will be quite emotional for her.
Goes off with England to the Euros, hoping for better days ahead, but she's really emotional there. You can see that as she trudges down the steps, and it'll be Chelsea's turn now. And it's interesting to see, who's that Chelsea player that's gone to the bottom of the steps, maybe to enclose? I think it's Neve Charles who's gone across there. Maybe she's just getting some fluid anyway. There's Rachel Williams. I wonder if we'll see her again in an FA Cup final. She's 37 now, Rachel. Leah Galton had her injury in the game, but didn't really get going. Their big names just didn't show up today, and they'll know it. And they left too much out on the field of play at Wembley, and that's the golden rule. You never leave anything out on the field of play. So Manchester United, their attempt to win the trophy for a second year, thwarted. Had an early flurry, but they never really created enough, did they, in the whole game?
No, not really. Definitely not threatening enough, as especially in those wide areas that we're used to seeing from Manchester United. And really, the game became quite boring, I think, at time to time. Just with Manchester United taking a really defensive approach, trying to stop any sort of Chelsea creativity, but it was all for naught in the end.
Trophy lifted up there by Royal Navy leading hand Anish Brogan, who brought the trophy out onto the field of play right at the start of the afternoon. And Tarina Macario currently being interviewed down at pitch side. Did you notice when the game had just finished and they were celebrating, dancing together? She was absolutely in floods of tears. The emotion of the moment just got to her, but what an impact from the bench.
No, I didn't notice that, to be honest. You've got great vision to be able to spot those tears. But no, I think she was exquisite. As soon as she came off, she added a lot of energy that I think Myra Ramirez failed to bring as much as we probably hoped from a Chelsea persuasion. But yeah, versatile in wide areas, competent in central areas, happy to finish, happy to create. I think she's been a fantastic addition to this Chelsea team, and certainly to the match today.
Erin Cuthbert will lead Chelsea up the stairs to the trophy. The official party up there waiting for them. Debbie Hewitt, MBE, the FA board chair, and Sue Hoff, MBE, chair of the FA Women's Football Board. Simon Morris, marketing president of Adobe, the FA Cup title partner. Sonia Bonpastor is a winning machine. At Lyon Champions League, 3 league titles, French Cup, French Super Cup twice. At Chelsea already, League Cup, treble one. Sensational stuff. They've contested the 8th Women's FA Cup final today, and they've won 6 now. Only Arsenal and Southampton have won more than them. Doncaster Rovers Bells have 6. It's a competition that goes way back beyond the days of WSL football. This really was the competition in English women's football for many, many years. There wasn't a WSL, there wasn't a really credible league system, but the FA Cup was always there.
I can remember the FA Cup, being played at the likes of the City Ground, Notts Forest, and it was always a showpiece, I think, of the season domestically for women's football.
That's what I covered from the commentary box. Was at Doncaster Arsenal against the Bristol Academy, managed by your former England manager, Mark Sampson. Well, what an impact she has had already. As a player, she won 13 major trophies. She's now won 10 as a coach in a relatively short time. She only took over at Lyon in April 2021. She's only 44 years of age. And Serena's young daughter in there, Alexis Ohanian, her partner, who now has this big chunk, £20 million worth of Chelsea's shares in the women's club. They have the investment, they have the backing, the sort of investment and backing that Manchester United now need to give their manager, Mark Skinner.
It's frightening to think, isn't it?
Yeah.
The heights that they might go.
They need to win the Champions League, don't they?
Absolutely. There's a one shelf on the trophy cabinet at Chelsea that is just collecting dust.
Lucy Bronze, another trophy for her in her staggering career. Should have met Sue off many, many times and had many, many conversations. Probably one-sided conversations, knowing Sue, to be fair. Here's Gura Wright and Erin Cuthbert, the player of the match, absolutely outstanding. Millie Bright will be the last player through as she collects her 18th winner's medal for Chelsea. And there the cup awaits. Broad smile, such a character, real joker in the dressing room. Big character, a winner, the winning captain. It's all about winners when it comes down to it, and they have the winning mentality. It's a blue day at Wembley again. It's a day for Chelsea. It's staggering to think their first ever trophy came here in the 2015 FA Cup final when they beat Notts County 1-0. And they've gone on to dominate English football since that day. 6 FA Cups, 8 league titles, 3 league cups, Champions League runners-up. They've won at least 2 trophies in each of their last 4 seasons, well, until last year actually. Millie Bright lifts the silver trophy into the London sky. The ticker tape falls. The colour of Wembley turns blue. The smiles grow wider and wider. The arms pump, the players dance. The fans celebrate. The message is congratulations to Chelsea. Chelsea have won the FA Cup. Chelsea have won the treble. Chelsea's domination of English women's football is complete. And it could go on for years and years and years.